Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Gomez, and today we're going to read you the story of Ferdinand by Monroe Leaf. This is my absolute favorite book of all time. I love books. I just love every single book, but this book is very special to me. When I was little, my mom would read this to me and my brothers and sisters, and we loved it and we love it still. And I'm so happy to tell you that I'm here in Pearland, Texas. It's a little town that's right outside of Houston, Texas. And I'm visiting my mother, and she's going to read the book to us. Mom, say hi to my kids.
Hi, boys and girls. I'm so happy to be able to read this wonderful book to you. I love it too.
I know you do, Mom.
Oh, very much.
Well, you know what I'm going to
You're gonna love
ask
it.
the kid? They are going to love it.
Yep.
What I'm going to ask the kids to do is while you're reading it, I want them to think about their favorite part and their least favorite part. And I also want them to think about their favorite character and their least favorite character. Can you do that too for me, Mom?
Yes, I'd
Okay.
love to.
Fantastic. All right, let's get reading.
All right. The Story of Ferdinand by Monroe Leaf, drawings by Robert Lawson. Fernando, there he is. The Story of Ferdinand. Once upon a time in Spain, a country across the sea, there was a little bull and his name was Ferdinand.
Look how cute he is.
Yes, oh. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together.
Wow.
But not Ferdinand. He liked to sit just quietly and smell the flowers.
Oh, look at his face, Mom. He looks
Yes.
so happy.
Yes. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree.
Look at him. He's walking toward that tree.
It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself.
That must be his mother.
Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head, she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. I like it better here, where I can sit just quietly and smell the flowers.
Oh, look.
His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong.
Wow. Look how tall he is. Look how big
Yes.
he is.
Very big. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid.
Wow, look at those horns. It's like a longhorn.
Yes. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers.
Look at him.
One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid.
Oh, look at him. Mom, look at him.
Yes,
I don't know which one
they
I-
did have funny hats on.
They did.
All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping and jumping, so the men would think that they were very, very strong and fierce and pick them.
Look at him jumping around,
Yeah.
fighting.
Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. He didn't look where he was sitting.
Uh-oh.
And instead of sitting on the nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee.
Oh my gosh, look at that bee.
Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him. And that is just what this bee did to Ferdinand.
Uh-oh. Look at Ferdinand's eyes, Mom.
Yes, it hurts.
Ouch.
Wow, did it hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting, butting and pawing the ground as if he were crazy. The 5 men saw him, and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest and fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart.
I wonder how Ferdinand must feel. Look, he's sitting there in a cart.
He doesn't look very happy. What a day it was. Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair.
Look at that. Those are pretty.
It says Galleria. They had a parade into the bull ring.
Look how that horse is decorated.
Yes. First came the banderillos with long, sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make him mad.
It doesn't sound very nice.
Next came the picadores, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him madder.
This is getting me a little nervous, Mom.
Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Then came the bull, and you know who that was, don't you?
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand.
Look at him down there.
Yes. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the banderillos were afraid of him, and the picadores were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff.
Look at him sweating, Mom.
Yes. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers and all the lovely ladies' hair, and he just sat down quietly and smelled. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the banderillos were mad, and the picadores were madder, and the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show off with his cape and sword.
Look at him. Look at him crying.
Yes. so they had to take Ferdinand home.
Look at Ferdinand in the cart. I wonder what he's thinking.
Yes. And for all I know, he is sitting there still, under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers, just quietly. He is very happy. The end.
Oh, Mom, I loved it. I loved it just as much as the time when you read it to me so many years ago.
Oh,
I loved it. Okay.
I'm so glad.
Now, can you tell me what was your favorite part, Mom?
My favorite part was when they were bringing Ferdinand home from the bull ring.
Well, you know what? My favorite part, Mom, was the same thing. I loved that. I loved that part. What was your least favorite part?
The least favorite part was when they were bringing him to the bull ring.
Well, that's kind of funny you should say that, because that's my least favorite. You know why? Because I put myself in Ferdinand's position,
Yes.
and I thought, oh no, I'll never see my home again.
Yes.
That's what I felt.
Yes.
Now, who was your favorite character?
Ferdinand.
Same here. Who was your least favorite character?
Oh, I guess the men who came to take him away. That would be all
really?
of them. I think all of them, the 5.
Oh, those guys with the funny hats?
Yes.
Well, you know what? I have one. Well, it's hard to say, but if somebody said you have to pick one, I would pick the Matador. Because he had a sword and he was going to poke Ferdinand with it. And he thought he was all that. He thought he was so cool, and he was trying to impress the ladies. And then he started crying. I just didn't like him.
Yes.
But I'm so glad it worked out how it did.
Yes.
Anyway, well, thank you so much, Nana. I really, really appreciate it. And I will talk to you later. Bye, boys and girls. Love you.